Number two is the man, the myth, the legend, the one, the dragon, Bruce Lee. Now, Bruce Lee broke barrier as an Asian who crossed over from doing martial art movies to come into the US to do a movie called Enter the Dragon. And basically, he wasn't just good at martial arts and being a very good actor in television and film. He eventually later became a producer, a director, and a writer of three of his feature films: Big Boss, The Fists of Fury, a movie called The Connections, and of course, Way of the Dragon, which was by far his best film to date because it was Bruce Lee versus Chuck Norris in martial arts cinematic film history. And to this very day, no one has never been able to come close to that magnitude. He did a movie called Enter the Dragon, which became his next best martial arts movie to date. Now, he started his martial arts career in the late 60s, early 1970s, and Bruce Lee was like in his prime. Like, at the time, nobody seen a guy 5'7", 5'8", that could scream real loud and kick your ass. And to create his own martial arts fighting style, basically he took all of the martial art fighting styles that you know and combined them together and call it Jeet Kune Do, the way of the intercepted fist. And he had a philosophy, he had a principle. So he was also a teacher, a martial arts teacher, a philosopher, a film producer, a film director, a screenwriter, an actor in television and film. Bruce Lee had so many skills and so many talents that he was able to compete in every sense of the word competition. And then to be able to get onto the same level, the same platform, Bruce Lee took a platform and resurrected martial arts like it never was resurrected before. And he's an eighth degree black belt. And the fact that this guy didn't care what people thought about him was incredible. Bruce Lee had got into great athletic shape. And Bruce Lee was so fantastic that he broke barriers. He broke ground. Now, he did have to go through some racism. A lot of people were racist. They were mean. They were nasty. He had to go through that difficult time period of not being accepted. But he did movies international. And when he broke into the U.S. circuit, he did a television show called The Green Arrow. And even though the show was canceled after one or two seasons, he became a bona fide action star. I mean, he did movies that nobody thought he would do. And to be with a big all-star cast and Enter the Dragon, it's like 40 that's like 40 to 42 years later and he's been immortalized. He has two statues. Hollywood Walk of Fame. He's been inducted into the Martial Arts Hall of Fame, Television and Film Hall of Fame, the Martial Arts Hall of Fame. The guy is worldwide critical acclaim, comic books, video games, posters, backpacks, lunch pails, trading cards, action figures, cartoons. People walk up and down the street doing impersonations of Bruce Lee from all his martial art movies. And it doesn't matter what generation you're from, the 1960s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s. You hear the name Bruce Lee, you see one martial arts movie by Bruce Lee. Doesn't matter what movie it is. Doesn't matter if it's Fists of Fury, The Connections, The Way of the Dragon, Enter the Dragon, Game of Death. Bruce Lee did movies. He also wrote books. And he taught celebrities martial arts. At that time, it was taboo to learn martial arts from someone like that. And he was fighting guys that were bigger, stronger, and faster. And the reason why he's number 2 on the list is because just imagine if he was alive today. Just imagine today. He would probably be doing pretty much the same stuff that he was doing at the time of he was alive. He done his own dangerous stunts. Most actors get a professional. He did his own dangerous stunts. He wasn't afraid to do fight choreographer. He would have to help other actors with their fighting scenes in his movies. Then to turn around and then get into the director's chair and show that he could be a good director as he is being a good actor. to be able to produce, write, direct, be a teacher, a martial arts teacher, a philosopher. And when you watch Bruce Lee's movies were like a combination of poetry and, as he described it, water can flow or water can crash. When I expand, I contract. When I contract, I expand. When there's an opportunity to hit, it don't hit back. It hits all by itself. He had so many different philosophies that a lot of people were inspired to become martial artists. Bruce Lee inspired people like Jet Li, Jackie Chan, John Claude Van Damme. He inspired generations long after he was gone to do martial arts, boxing, wrestling. Somehow, some way, his name is mentioned in those social circles. If you talk about karate, his name is mentioned. Kung Fu, boxing, kickboxing, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Ninja Jitsu, his name gets mentioned in the world of UFC. Boxing, wrestling, television, film, you name it, his name is mentioned. Every time you watch Mortal Kombat and you see Robin Shou as Liu Kang, you can't help but to wonder the inspiration came from Bruce Lee. You watch the video games of Tekken, there's Forest Law, there's Martial Law. Yeah, those are representations of Bruce Lee. Then there's the actual video game of Bruce Lee. So he's broken ground. And if it weren't for Bruce Lee, all the people on this list would not be doing martial arts. You're like, think about it. Wesley Snipes was inspired by Bruce Lee. David Carradine, God rest his soul, rest in peace. Another person that should be on this list. Because Bruce Lee did write a script called Kung Fu The Legend Continues. And that was his script, his television show. And a lot of people don't know the true story of that. Bruce Lee was going to star in that television show. And at the time, they didn't want Bruce Lee on television doing his own character. So they got David Carradine to do it. And Bruce Lee inspired David Carradine to not only just learn martial arts, but to learn about the culture. It changed and had a powerful, profound effect on David Carradine. Bruce Lee met a young John Claude Van Damme. That's how John Claude Van Damme broke into martial arts, started doing movies, because he met Bruce Lee. If you watch the director's cut or the extended version of Enter the Dragon, Jackie Chan is in the movie. How do you think Jackie Chan got his career started? He met Bruce Lee. These are people who met the man. Not just when they done martial arts, they actually met him. Not once, but twice. So that's why he's on this list. He made it cool to do your own stunts. When you see Jet Li, Jackie Chan, John Claude Van Damme, when you see all those guys do their dangerous stunts, remember, Bruce Lee made it easy and cool to do your own stunts. Bruce Lee made it cool to come into the industry and say, I'm going to change some stuff. I'm going to make some stuff happen. I'm going to make some stuff that you don't expect. Now, had he lived longer, he would have been in Mortal Kombat. He would have been in Street Fighter. A lot of the stuff that you see, he would have made it better. He would have made Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter better. He would have came in and trained another generation of... He would have been in his 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s doing as many movies. And Bruce Lee inspired a whole generation. And people who didn't even grow up watching his movies, as soon as they hear the name Bruce Lee, they know what it means and what it represents. Whether you've heard from him in video games, television, film, martial arts, a poster, trading cards, you hear the name, there's a reason why he's a legend. There's a reason why he's an icon. Chuck Norris, he inspired Chuck Norris to create his own style of martial arts. You know, the Nunchucks, they're legendary, they're famous. Because if you watch Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Michelangelo is a representation of Bruce Lee with the Nunchucks. Bruce Lee was good at comedy, he was good at action, he was good at suspense, mystery. So the guy was multi-talented. So he deserves way more respect and more credit. So that's why he's at number 2. Now coming in at number 1 is a tie of 2 legends, 2 icons, 2 badasses. When it comes to the word action star, there are 2 guys that you think of that have lasted a lot longer than people suspect. Sylvester Stallone is tied with Tom Cruise. Now, I know this is going to be very, very controversial, and I'll explain why it's controversial. Sylvester Stallone's been around for like nearly 4 decades, okay? Sylvester Stallone came in the 60s and did a television show, Then he popped up on Happy Days. Then he did some mob gangster movies, and then he got the break movie role of a lifetime, Rocky. He was writing the script to Rocky in the 70s and was inspired by Muhammad Ali versus Chuck Wepner's 1976, heavyweight championship fight, and made it about a guy, what if he fought the heavyweight champion? And you see what that story, with that movie done. That movie made and solidified Sylvester Stallone's career. Because then what came after that? Rambo. Another badass character. You fast forward 40 years later, you got like 6 Rocky movies, 2 Creed films. You're getting a Creed 3. You're getting a Rocky 7. It's been confirmed by Stallone himself there will be a Rocky 7 in the works. So you have 6 films of Rocky. You got like 5 movies of Rambo. Now you got a Rambo 6 coming. So that's 2 franchises. Then he pops up and does Cobra. You're getting a sequel to Cobra. Demolition Man. Tango and Cash. Copland. These are some good Stallone classic films. And when I say good films, these are some badass films. Lock Up. Sylvester Stallone was in that. He even did a movie about being a truck driver that did arm wrestling. So Stallone's done a lot of badass movies. And yeah, there's The Specialist. There's The Assassin. There is him being in, what's that other movie? Daylight. There was also Cliffhanger. Those are some Sylvester Stallone classics. Those are Sylvester Stallone movies, not just the Expendables. And of course, there's Bullet to the Head, the Extendable franchise. So the guy can do 3 or 4 multiple franchises. He even find the chance to make it into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So who would have thought he would ever become a superhero badass again? Yeah, there's Judge Dredd, and then there's his character from the sequel of The Guardians. So he's pretty much done it all. He's produced, he's directed, he's written, he's been an actor in television and film. He's been a part of multiple franchises. And if you think about it, look at him. The guy's like in his 70s in great athletic shape. How many actors you know after 2 or 3 decades still keep pumping iron and take their movie roles serious? Then on the other hand, you've got Tom Cruise. Okay, he may not be the biggest, he may not be the strongest, but he's very charming, very intelligent. He has a unique style. He comes in the 80s, does a movie called Top Gun, Days of Thunder. Those are Tom Cruise classics. He does a movie called The Firm. That's a classic. Get closer to the 90s, and he decides, I want my name in the Who's an Action Star campaign. Does a movie called Mission Impossible. Then he gives us Mission Impossible 2, which I thought was the best one out of the whole franchise. To this day, I still love Mission Impossible 2. Then, of course, there's Mission Impossible 3, Mission Impossible 4, Ghost Protocol, then there's 5, then there's 6. And guess what? Now you're going to get a Mission Impossible 7. So he's giving you 6 movies in the Mission Impossible franchise. Does a movie called Minority Report with Steven Spielberg. Turns around, does The Last Samurai. Come on, this is Tom Cruise at his best. Then he does Jack Reacher 1 and 2. I know they're not his finest works, but he had fun enjoying those movies, Jack Reacher 1 and 2. Does Edge of Tomorrow. I'm still waiting for the sequel. This guy's a powerhouse. And he done his own dangerous stunts in his 30s, his 40s, his 50s. And a lot of people don't like when Stallone and Tom Cruise are alpha males because they're showing you the blueprints of not just being successful in television and film, but they're saying you can be any age in your 30s, your 40s, your 50s, your 60s, or your 70s and still kick ass and take names. Like when you watch Sylvester Stallone, the guy loves a challenge. Like you get player haters that go, man, you too old to be trying to do these movies. Man, you need to be producing and directing. And these guys go, I'm going to do whatever I want to do, and I'm going to keep doing it until my last breath. You need real men to inspire you to become great, to achieve greatness. Greatness doesn't happen overnight. You don't just wake up one morning and you're great. It could take years, 10, 15, 20, 30 years to become great. And when I look at Tom Cruise, I don't see him slowing down. The guy's in his 50s and the guy ain't got no stop to him. Like, the fact that he does his own dangerous stunts, who do you think they get that from? They got that from Bruce Lee because Bruce Lee was doing it. Then here comes Jackie Chan. Then here comes Jet Li, the ice cream truck. So I apologize. It's the ice cream truck. But if it weren't for Bruce Lee, you would have never got Sylvester Stallone doing his own dangerous stunts. You would have never got Tom Cruise doing his dangerous stunts. Mel Gibson. All these people on the list are all legends and icons, okay? And Sylvester Stallone has lasted this long. It's nearly 4 decades, and he's still ticking. Now, you're going to have player haters, You get a lot of men that are jealous of Tom Cruise. You got men jealous of Sylvester Stallone. You got guys jealous of Bruce Lee, Jean-Claude Van Damme. Why is it kept closed? You got some guys jealous of Denzel Washington, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, Wesley Snipes, because no matter how old they get, it's like men age like fine wine. The older they get, the better they get. Anytime you hear somebody say stupid bullshit like, man, you're too old, you need to stop going to the gym, you need to give it up, they're player haters. They're mad because they don't have the will to go out there and follow their dreams and do what they want to do. And when you watch these actors, whether it's in television or film, the reason why they're all legends and icons is because in each and every single form, these guys are good because they learn from each other to make themselves better. So Sylvester Stallone's tied on this list. Tom Cruise is tied on this list. I know some people might say, what about Clint Eastwood? Well, Clint Eastwood, if I was to make it a 3-way tie, you guys got to accept the fact that it's going to be a 3-way tie because Clint Eastwood was the guy who came in his 30s and basically did exactly just that. All those Western movies, Dirty Harry series, and then you see every now and then Clint Eastwood come in and say, I might be 75, I might be 80, I still can kick ass. I don't do it all the time, but when I need to go on screen and show that I'm still a badass, that's why this list got made. To show you, no matter how old you get, these guys are legends, they're icons, they're alpha males. Real alpha males, not just because you hear the name. So this video was to commemorate all the guys that's on this list. Now, I will make a part 2. Part 2 will be talking about television. Part 3 going to talk about the best African-American actors in action-packed movies. Some people might say, how come Bruce Willis is not on this list? If I had to, I would probably find some space on here. I probably would put Bruce Willis tied at number 6 with Doug Lughlin, because he did do the Die Hard franchise, and Bruce Willis also did a bunch of action-packed movies. So if you want, Bruce Willis is on number 6. So that way, all these guys are legends. Okay, show some proper respect. This was a tough video to make. I had to change the list like a total of 5 times. Until then, peace.